Hello parents, welcome back to our channel, and today we're diving into some game-changing strategies for understanding and handling your children's misbehavior without yelling or frustration. I'm going to share what your children's behavior is really telling you and give you practical tips to respond with empathy and structure. If you're ready to turn those tough moments into opportunities for growth, stick around and don't forget to like and subscribe for more positive parenting tips. If you're new to the channel, you might be wondering what is positive discipline. So it is a parenting approach based on mutual respect and teaching, not punishment. It's about guiding children to self-discipline, responsibility, and problem solving while keeping your connection strong instead of reacting to misbehavior with anger. We're going to see it as a clue to what your child needs. Let's break it down. What is your child's misbehavior communicating? When your child throws tantrums, ignores you, or talks back, it's not just to drive you up the wall. Their behavior is a form of communication. Positive discipline identifies 4 key needs, or as we call them, mistaken goals, which are behind most misbehavior. First, there's undue attention. If your child is whining or interrupting, they might be saying, "I only feel like I belong when I have your attention." Think of a kid who keeps bugging you while you're on the telephone. They are craving attention. The second mistaken goal is misguided power, defiance, or arguing. And you might hear your child say something like, "You can't make me do it," when you make a command or request. This often means, from your child's perspective, "I want to feel in control," or they could be testing their independence. The third mistaken goal is revenge. If your child lashes out or acts mean, they might be thinking, "I am hurt, so I want to hurt you back." This could happen after they feel unfairly disciplined or disconnected from you. And the fourth mistaken goal is assumed inadequacy. When children give up or say something like, "I'm just bad at math," what they're really saying is, "I don't believe I can do this." In this situation, they need encouragement to feel capable. Misbehavior can also come from things like hunger, tiredness, or big emotions they don't know how to handle. It could be their age, such as toddlers struggling with self-control or teenagers pushing for independence. By decoding these messages, we can respond in ways that help, not hurt. So now let's get to the good stuff. We are now going to look at 8 positive discipline tips to handle misbehavior like a pro when they show up in your children. Our first tip is to stay calm and regulate your emotions. Your calmness sets the tone. If you're upset, your child will feel it and things can spiral. Take a deep breath, use neutral tone, and remind yourself this is a teaching moment. For example, if your child throws a toy, you can say, "I see you're upset. Let's calm down together and talk about it." Our second tip is to connect before you correct. Children listen better when they feel understood. Get down to their level, validate their feelings. For example, you might say, "I can see you're mad right now," and offer a hug if they're open to it. You can ask, "What's going on?" So for example, if they don't want to clean up their toys, try, "Are you feeling tired or upset? Let's figure this out together." The important thing to remember, connection builds trust. Our third tip is to set clear age-appropriate expectations. Children need boundaries that match their age. Use simple, positive language such as, "We use gentle hands," instead of "don't hit." Involve older children in making family rules to give them ownership. Be consistent but flexible as they grow. For a toddler, you might say, "We keep our hands to ourselves." For a teen, co-create a chore chart that works for everyone. Tip 4 is to use natural or logical consequences. Consequences teach accountability when they're tied to the behavior. Let natural consequences happen only when it's safe. For example, feeling cold if they forget their jacket. Or use logical consequences, such as, if you don't finish your homework now, you'll have less playtime later. Also, it's important to involve your children in finding solutions. For example, what can we do to avoid this next time? Also, if they spill juice while running, have them help you to clean it up. Tip 5 is to teach problem-solving skills. Misbehavior often means children lack the skills to handle a situation. It's important to model how to express feelings. For example, you may say, I feel frustrated because the toys are scattered and I need a tidy space. Brainstorm solutions together. For example, you could say, what can make bedtime easier? Role play things like sharing or managing anger. If siblings fight over a toy, guide them to take turns or play a new game. Tip 6 is to encourage and empower. Children who feel capable misbehave less. Focus on effort, not just results. For example, you can say, I noticed how hard you worked on that puzzle. It's also important to highlight strengths. So, for example, you're great at creative ideas. Avoid overpraising or bribing because it can backfire. If they struggle with, for example, math, you can say, I am proud of you trying. Let's tackle the next step together. When you do this, you are actually building a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. Tip 7 is to model the behavior you want. Children learn from watching you, so apologize when you mess up. You can say, I'm sorry I raised my voice. Let's try again. It's also important to show your children how to handle emotions. For example, you can say, I'm feeling so stressed, I'm going to take a few deep breaths. Also, it's important to be kind and respectful in your interactions. It's the best way to teach those values. Our 8th and final tip is to create a connection-focused routine. Regular connection reduces attention-seeking behavior. So spend 10 minutes daily on one-on-one time together. Let your child pick the activity, like reading or playing. It's important to also build rituals like bedtime stories or family meals. And it is a good idea to do check-ins with your children. For example, how is your day going? Anything you want to share? When you do this, it reinforces their sense of belonging and you're communicating that they matter to you. Let's look at how to apply these tips to specific behaviors. For example, if you're having toddler tantrums, they're more than likely communicating that I'm feeling overwhelmed. So what you have to do is to stay calm, validate their feelings, and teach simple calming tricks like deep breathing or hugging a stuffed animal. If you're experiencing defiance from school-aged children, what they're communicating is that they want more control. So as a parent, you can offer choices. For example, you can have your homework done now or after a snack. Then as a parent, it's important to follow through with logical consequences if needed. Some of you might be experiencing backtalking from your teen. What they're communicating is that they want to test their independence. As the parent, it's important to stay respectful, acknowledge their feelings, and invite calm discussions about possible solutions. If you have a child who is giving up, what they're communicating to you is that they may feel incapable in a particular task. So as a parent, it is important to break the task down into small steps, encourage progress, and say, you've got this part done. Let's keep going. So there are some common mistakes to avoid. So I want to give you just a quick heads up on pitfalls. Important to remember, don't punish instead of teach. Yelling or timeouts don't build skills. You want to avoid overreacting as it accelerates things. Stay consistent with rules to avoid confusion and balance correction with encouragement so your child feels supported, not criticized. Parenting isn't easy, but positive discipline turns misbehavior into a chance to connect and to teach. Be patient with yourself and your children. And parents, it's important to remember it is a journey. So parents, I invite you to try these tips and let me know how they work in the comments section. For more resources on positive discipline, you can check out the playlist on this channel, or you can reach out to me. My email is in the description section, where we can book a consultation time together. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with other parents in your friends and family network, and subscribe for more tips. See you next time, and thank you so much for joining.